that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted.
Yeah, it said basically don't worry about the unnecessary shit because I got something for y'all. That's a promise, you know?
It says, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. Perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Hey, that's a promise, man. That's what's pretty much, there's a destination that we're going to get to that's established already. That's a promise. You know what I'm saying? What you said, what for the greater good in the definition?
A pledge of assurance of good.
A pledge of assurance for good. That's a pledge of assurance. He said this place is made. And what's in this place? You know what I'm saying? The weeping, the wiping the tears. You know what I'm saying? All that's the promise that he has for us. You know? So once you understand and you believe in that promise, what does that do to you? It's a sigh of relief. What'd you say?
It builds faith.
It builds faith. If you believe in the promise, now you gotta start working towards that promise. Now staying on track, that increases faith because it increases your experience. So we're working towards that promise. If we got scoffers, we got the prophecies that of things that are gonna try to deter us or coming against Israel, you know, and we got all these things to make it an uphill climb. But we climbing, it's not like damn these fucking niggas scoffing and shit, man. I'm getting tired. It's like, nah, once I get to the top, I'm straight. I don't gotta do all this shit no more, man. Once you get that mentality, that gives like I'll talk to the brother, being goal-oriented, man. It makes you goal-oriented. He just gave us the goal, being through the promise. This is what I got laid out for you, man. You know how difficult it'll be to do something without, that said, that pledge of assurance? That's why Peter asks what? Hey, we have given up house and family for you. What is it? What is our... Yeah, we're forsaken all. What is it that's in store for us? And Yasharahla answered him, man. He didn't have to, but he answered him. To give him that pledge of assurance, man. It wasn't no fucking bug out question like the other men say, the parents say I want my son on the right hand and the left hand. He couldn't that was a wild question. Really a statement. But the Lord has given us a promise of peace, man, ultimately. So, and what the Lord said in our affliction, let's get that, our affliction is what? Yeah, it's like Anna says, the one that says it's but for a short time. It'll seem long if you think about the road. If you focus on what you're going through, it'll seem long. You know what I'm saying? Like a person said, there's a saying in the gym that you'll know how long a minute is until you plank. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when you're planking, I was always taught to think happy thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I think about food, I think about what I'm gonna do when I get home. You know what I'm saying? What game I'm gonna play, what lesson, you know what I'm saying? I think about shit like that, and they say, the minute's over. You know what I'm saying? If you have your mind somewhere else, you gotta astral project your mind. And our mind is astral projected to where? The kingdom of heaven. Going back to the old statement that we gotta do what? Be kingdom minded. If your mind is focused on the goal of the kingdom of heaven, like you said, worry about those who be like thee. Don't be focusing on that bullshit that's unproductive. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to brush a lot of shit off, man.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians 4:16. It says, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
And he's telling you, look, astral project that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that goal. I set the GPS marker, man. Once you got that GPS marker, you stay on that goal. And guess what? When you go off the GPS, you're gonna know you fucking up. But if you do not set that marker, you make a left or right, you really don't regard if you fucking up or not. Because you don't have a goal, man. The Lord gave us a goal, he gave us a promise, man. You know, salvation. Okay?
I got that the word affliction there. This is Strong's G 2347. Says thlipsis. It says oppressing together, or pressure, metaphorically, oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, or straits.
Yeah, pressure, man. Like things that make it difficult. But that's what it's about, man. When you can make it through affliction, that really activate the masculinity in you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why motherfuckers be yelling like that. When they getting knocked out or something, and then they turn around and knock somebody out, man, you hear a yell of passion, man. Cause you didn't came through some affliction. That do some groundbreaking shit for you, you know? When you especially if you set a goal in your conscience, why people be crying and shit. These people be setting goals, man, and they accomplish that goal. They be like, I did it. And it levels you up, and it's like you want to do it again. Now I want to do it 2 times. You know what I'm saying? That's how you become great. You know, and to become great in the Lord, you're supposed to set your goal. What is our goal, man? What are you trying to be? Of course, you got salvation, and you got short-term goals. What is stopping you from doing that? Now you attack that situation. Look toward the promise, and you see how you gotta, you know, you looking in the promise land. Oh, they got these clothes on. I need to dress like that. Okay, I'm about to go get them clothes. Oh, this is how they eat. This is what they eat. So I'm gonna do that. That's called what? Rehearsing the righteous acts, man. You know, like you gotta examine. You gotta be, but you can't sit there and only listen to a message. You gotta do it to understand, man. You know, because you're dressing how they dress and shit, but you ain't treating the clothes right. You know, you're just doing it because they say do it. Your shit ain't lined up how the military wants you to have everything lined up, and then you come in there, you got the purple over the top of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because you did it without understanding. That goes back to what? Eating unworthily. You know? The Lord tell you don't come eating unworthily, you gotta do it in sincerity. Even if you get it wrong, but don't come in there like you got it right. You know, with the mentality that you got it right and you doing it wrong. You know, what I mean by that, you come in with your formal gear on and be like, hey man, your button's off. What you telling me about my button? You always wanna say something. Nah, man. I'm trying to put it on. No, like it's like, oh my button. Oh, I gotta make sure I'm right, because my goal is to come in this room in the fit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you trying to act like you right now? You ain't even in the room yet. You know? And if you go oriented to be in that room, you got that vision, and you sitting there, you know how they be in the banquets on the movies, you know what I'm saying? The nigga come out with the cheese and you laughing. You know, you're in that, that's how you should envision yourself in a room full of the elect, man. You know, not to do in the corner like I hope they don't see me, or you trying to fix something.
What's this one for?
Yeah, you know, you're supposed to be in there like, you know what, everything work. You might not be able to work that shit, or you may be like, I don't know how to work that, but I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? I deserve to be here. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit up the top seat, or do, you know. So that's how I walk in this faith, is that our goal is the kingdom of heaven, and the elect of the brothers that you're in that banquet with. But you gotta have a good rapport. And also you got to carry yourself well. These brothers around us that are high and low, they're an examples on how to be righteous. And you take that from them and you admire that and you utilize it. You don't emulate it, because emulating is doing something without understanding. You know? You pretty much like, damn, man, this man coming out with some precepts fast as hell. Don't go in and now it's your turn out. You fucking up, man. You know, just use your phone, man. What are you doing? You know? Like, it's you're not being productive toward the goal because you try to emulate it. But when you go home, you look at him like he fast. You watching all his videos. You know what I'm saying? And you're working on you looking up Google how to find pages fast in books, and now you come out that, you know what I'm saying, like a 6-shooter, man. You know what I'm saying? I got it right here. Now that's impressive, you know, and that's to understand that what's your goal, man, and you achieve your goal. If you don't got no goal and it's true, then you're pretty much going to be stagnant, man. You know, like it always got to be something that my goal is to become perfect. But guess what? That's a goal that you can't achieve. You know what I'm saying? But striving for perfection ain't talk about when you start doing, look, you start striving for perfection, you start keeping the laws, then what? Now it's like, okay, I did everything. But there's that's an internal man now. Now you gotta work on that internal man, not being slow to anger, you know, being contrite, being able to be talked to, being able to listen, having focus. You know, there's a lot of things you can work on. You can be petty. You know what I'm saying? Making sure everything's lined up in your life. It's constant things you can work on in striving for perfection, man. You know, if you're goal oriented. You know, and going back again, the promise gives you the direction of a goal. You know, like this land. Once you start talking about that land, man, that get me emotionally stirred up. Like, yeah, like, you know, get the fuck out of here, man. When you said like the tears shall be wiped away, you think about all the pain that you go through and all that hard shit, man. You be like, man, I don't gotta worry about that shit no more. Like that make you like, man, fuck what's going on in this world. And I was me and the brother talking, we were saying like all that when you're living in the moment, you're gonna be affected by rebuke and correction and things going on. Like in this life, if you lose money in this world and you're living in the moment, it's gonna fuck you up. But if we're looking for a promise, you know, and we're locked in on the promise, and that's our goal. When we lose money, we're like, man, I'll get in the kingdom. You lose women, I'll get in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But when you do not have a goal or something to look forward to, and you living in a moment that woman leave you, it's over with. You lost something. Y'all here tripping and shit.
Like jokes and shit, singing and shit.
Yeah. Baby, I'm back, baby. You know, y'all here looking stupid because, you know, and because you're not focused on something, man. You know? Or you'll focus on the wrong thing, because the scriptures say where a man's treasure is, that's where his heart will be also. So don't live in the moment. Jake like to live in the moment. Income tax. They go crazy behind the money. Like, what about the rest of the year? You know, shouldn't you have like an income tax moment for the rest of the year? You know? Like, you don't put yourself in a financial position to where you don't have to worry about money.
Ooh, I can't wait to text. You hear that all through Jake.
Yeah, you to me, you bugging at that point. Nah, brother took me on because I said, man, I ain't worried about that shit. And he was like, you tripping, that's your money, you should. I was like, I understand that part, because when I get that shit, I'm going to cash it, I'm going to use it. But I don't look at that money as like, I need it.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't need it, because they're giving me money that they took already, man. And if they feel like giving it back, they'll give it back. But if I worry about it and I start putting my money to this, doing shit, dumb shit, and moving based off that money, living in the moment, that I'm gonna be stressed out. Where my money at? Where my check at? You know, people that stimulus check now and then, people have to remind me like, hey man, what's up that stimulus? I'm like, man, if I get it, I get it, bro. Like I'm focused on taking care of what I got control over. You know? My goal is to line myself up in a certain way for my household, and the stimulus, whether it coming or not, I'm gonna get that done. That's my goal. Stimulus ain't coming, because you're living in the moment, man. So,
this to finish this in 2 Corinthians 4:18. It says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal.
Yeah, so they're temporary. That's why, because you can put your goal on anything and it can be worthless. You know, belief should go somewhere. But righteousness is everlasting, man. The kingdom of heaven is going to be established. So putting your goal on that is very fruitful. Because it's guaranteed, man. The Lord's promise is a promise. You know? Somebody, all of us can promise shit, you know, but the Lord's, that's guaranteed, man. Ain't no question in that. You know? So I don't know if I ain't talking like a gay kind. She it's kind of, you know, a little pick gray.
It says, for the things which are seen are temporal. You know, living in that moment. It's just momentary. But the things which are not seen are eternal.
Yeah. Hey, that's the promises. That's the promises that the Lord got in store for you. You know? And what he says, it shall not go back unto him void. I got a kingdom. I got a place for you. That's it. That's all you gotta say. You guaranteed. You know? Like, if somebody tell you, you go to a nigga on the corner every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., he telling you who gonna win the fights. And it always happen like that, that's say less. Say less, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm headed to the casino right now. You know what I'm saying? As we speak, I'm putting bets and I'm gonna go there and make a bigger bet. You know? Put rent on it. Put the whole thing on it.
I'm going to win it.
Yeah, because the promise is guaranteed. That's a whole, and we're investing in the market. He's saying like, it ain't gonna look like nothing, I guarantee you, it ain't gonna look like nothing. We'll give it about 2021. We shows up in that bit, you know what I'm saying? And we've been investing for a long time. We've been investing our oil, and now it's starting to increase. And now the doors is closing, like no more bets. And everybody like, oh man, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Once the event starts, you can't bet on it.
Okay. Once the event, once the game starts, that kickoff, you know, martial law happened. You'll have something, you know, like let me give it a triple header. You're like, no, it's over. The game started, bro. You're cheating at this point. You know? All of that.
This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 33.
Esau, he got COVID. You know, Ammon, he tripping. He out here with high ankle sprain. Now you won't bet. You won't bet on the men of the Lord because you seeing E losing. You know? Nah, that's what the Lord gonna say. I never knew you.
This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness.
Seek ye first. So that's what you're supposed to invest at. That's what the foundation is. Go ahead, brother.
And all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah, so when you say focus over there, them things shall be added unto you. So you gotta be somewhere else, man. Because if you're in the moment, you're gonna get corrected, and it's gonna piss you off because you're trying to do right. But if you're trying to get into the kingdom of heaven, anything that somebody tell you, if that's your goal, anything somebody tell you to achieve that goal is not gonna be as detrimental or it fuck your day up. You're gonna be like, all right, you got it, because that's your goal. Now, if you fuck up in that goal, yeah, it's gonna affect you. That's why you shouldn't live short term, man. You gotta live for the kingdom of heaven. You know? Said that man with the talent. We're going over the promises. We're going over being goal-oriented. You know, it should be things, that you're looking at constantly within yourself, examine yourself to see how you could be better, man. To constantly tune up your machine in order to do what? Achieve the goal, man. You know, nobody has a fight coming up and they don't do shit. Them people get knocked out, guaranteed. You know?
This is Matthew You want to get the breakdown of it or the parable?
The parable in itself.
This is Matthew chapter 25 and verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey.
Now we're gonna segue a little bit into, the kingdom of heaven is a promised land, things like that. But we're segueing into the opportunity, understanding and having that goal helps you grow in that opportunity. But if you're living in a moment, you're just gonna sit on that talent like that man did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna hold it, I'm good, I got this. You get complacent. But when you if you appreciate what that man gave you from the kingdom of heaven, that's what you want. You want to show how much you appreciate it by flipping it. Okay?
It says, then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made other 5 talents.
Yeah, so what happened, that talent is really us, our body members, you know what I'm saying, and our the treasures. Our treasures is our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's the real treasure within us. So when the Lord gives you that grace of waking up and knowing his name, now you're gonna have people coming with you. The people that's coming with you is the people that's exhorting you, rebuking you, and edifying you. You know what I'm saying? And that talent could be the name. It could be knowing you're Israelite. It could be the spirit being on you to keep the commandments. The person that's lazy is going to sit and just keep the commandments. They're never going to learn the name. They're never going to, and they're going to say, look, I did enough. I didn't fuck it up. Like, but that wasn't enough, dude. You know? If the Lord gave you the talent, understand the name, and preaching the gospel, now you flip it. Work on your patience. Work on your history. Work on, so when you come back, you left, when he came to you, he gave you the name and the laws. He come back, you got patience, you got the prophecies. It's like, God, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go, champ. You come back to the other dude, you gave him patience, you come back, patience. You know? Patience. Like, that's all you got. I left you, bro, you ain't used that and flip that. You know? Not because you're unappreciative and you just, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna let him read it, because I don't want to digress too much.
It says, then he, it says, and likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2.
Yeah, he flipped it, man. Because again, these things, our road is going to be through affliction. That's your opportunity to flip a talent. Affliction is not always a bad thing. This is your chance to prove to the Most High that whatever talent you was working on flipping, this is the show. And if you don't show, then you work through it. You know what I'm saying? And because this is another thing, one thing that you ask for, the Lord ain't gonna just give it to you. He's gonna try you for it, man. So if you ask for patience, since we on patience, then the Lord gonna try you, man. He's gonna put you with somebody that's gonna try your patience. And you gotta actively think upon it. And if he don't give you a situation, you work on it in any situation that's available, man. Like I learned that in karate. You gonna build your quads up for that horse stance? Go brush your teeth while in the horse stance. Play the game in the horse stance. Do everything, that's how you're supposed to do it, and then you'll get used to it. So it's the same thing with this ministry, with your talents. I got patience. I'll show you patience if you show me, good study habits. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be contrite to listen to that person. And you do it, once that person show you how to get good study habits, you do it when you look at the employee handbook, you do it when you listen to your kid, you do it when you actually read the scriptures, you do it when you watch TV. And guess what? It's going to make it a habit, man. It's going to make it a reflex. Can somebody look up how many how many reps does it take to create a habit? You know what I'm saying? Because when you look that up, it tells you, I think it's about 1,000, man, to where it's actually muscle memory. So if you get reproved, or you get corrected, or you find out something new, then you, if you do not use that muscle memory, you forget it. That's why it's easy as riding a bike, because we rode bikes all fucking day as kids, man. So it's not hard for us to get on that bitch. I get on that bitch right now and take off. Nigga, talking about